Hey guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a video all about single dad romances. This was inspired by a book I just recently read that I was obsessed with, specifically a single dad nanny romance, which I do have a handful of those on these lists, but these are some really great single dad romances. Some I'm sure you've heard of before, but others I feel like are from underrated authors that definitely need more love, so I will go ahead and get to it. One of my favorite things about a single dad romance is definitely the kids having very purposeful points to the story. Like, instead of just being there to be there, I love when they have a really unique and fun personality. I love when they're just like the characters themselves, where the heroine ends up having like a really great connection with them and they are an integral part to even the romance, and I feel like all of these do a really good job of doing that, especially the first book I'm going to talk about. This video is inspired because I just finished reading The Nanny is Off Limits by Kiwi Tyler. I was sent the gorgeous foiled ARC edition. I loved this book. I have been noticing a lot of contemporary romances are really long lately. This one's less than 300 pages. I flew through it, and it was a little bit of a slow burn for QB. She's known for her spice, but in this one, the hero, his ex-wife ends up passing away. They'd been divorced for 3 years, but obviously, like anyone close to you, passing away is really hard on you, and it's very hard on his kids. And so it's been about a year since she passed away, and his brother's like, you need help. Like, you're struggling. I am doing the best I can to help you, but like, these kids need someone, because his son's been acting out in school. He has a 6-year-old, a 11, 12-year-old, and a 16-year-old. And so his son, the middle one, has been getting into a lot of trouble. And so the brother actually runs into the heroine at like the grocery store, and he's like, do you by chance happen to like nanny or be able to nanny? And she's like, I actually have a lot of experience nannying, and I am a master's student right now, so I'm not working. And so she ends up seeing that they really need help, applies for the job, and is immediately, no question, hired, and they have a romance. Obviously, they're instantly attracted to each other. They think they're both very good looking, but they connect on a very deep emotional level too, and they just can't stop. And she has a bedroom across from his office. Like, it's very forced proximity, and they know though that they can't put the kids in jeopardy, and so as in like their emotions, and she is getting very close with the kids. So the 6-year-old's adorable, loved her so much, and she even has like a really good connection with the middle boy, and the kids are all very close. They really care about each other. And then it's the 16-year-old that's kind of more hesitant to trust her, and you know there's going to be some sort of conflict if the kids find out that they're together. And so it takes about 45% of the book for them to even like give in, which is very slow burn for QB, and I loved that. And they fought it as hard as they could, but obviously they didn't want to, and there was like flirting involved because he's actually in his early 40s and she's I think 25, 26. There's almost a 20-year age gap in here, and so he's like, she should be off limits for everything, but they fall for each other, and it was so good. And she had actually lost her mom when she was younger too, and she was the oldest daughter, so she can really connect with his daughter and what their family's going through, and I loved it so much. So good. Please read it. I feel like it's becoming a trend too to have single dad romance series, so a couple authors are doing that right now, and one of them that I've been loving is Cleo White. So I have 2 by Cleo White that are out now. A 3rd one's coming out soon. I love these. Again, they're shorter and they're so much fun, and this one was my favorite. It's Chilled and Thrilled. This one, she falls for her best friend's dad, and so he is a single dad. He has 2 daughters, and yes, because I think one of them, the one gets the 2nd book, and I think the other one's actually going to get the 3rd book. And so he has had a crush on his daughter's best friend for a while, and she's had a crush on him, but they've always been like, it's not going to happen, like to themselves. They've never admitted to each other that they like each other, but she works for him, and she is a very great employee, so they're around each other a lot, and he gets very protective over her if anyone in the office hits on her. And there ends up being a snowstorm. This is a Christmas romance, and she ends up going home, and he follows her to make sure she's okay, because she actually lives with his daughter. And she gets into an accident, and she's like knocked down and gets a concussion, and so she has to have someone watch her, and he's the only one around because her best friend went home with her girlfriend for Christmas, so he's the only one around. He's like, you're staying with me. So they go to his house, they get snowed in, and things happen, and it was so good. Like, really great spice. Love their connection. I love this one so much. And then the next one is Kissed and Missed. So this was Christmas, that one's Valentine's Day, and that one's actually the roommate / daughter of this book. And in this one, she goes home for Christmas with her girlfriend, and her girlfriend's a horrible person, and she ends up spending most of the time with her girlfriend's dad, and they can't stop thinking about each other. They obviously have a really good connection, but they're like, this can't happen. And then the hero ends up pretty much moving to where the heroine lives and starting a nonprofit just because he's a billionaire, obviously, just so she can work. So I think she works in like nonprofit or like event planning or something, and he literally creates something for her to be hired to take on. And so he's just smitten from the start. Don't know if it's billionaire or millionaire, not that it makes a difference in a romance book, but he is just gone for her and really likes her, and it was so good. So it's Ex's dad romance. Really love this one. Very great single dad. So these are more like their kids are grown and it's like not necessarily an important part of the plot, but they're still single dads. Then I have one that actually recently got picked up and I loved this. This is the perfect fall book, and that is If It Makes You Happy by Julia Olivia. This one is very, very Gilmore Girls if it was gender swapped and not having a Luke. The hero reminds me a lot of Lorelai in the fact that he got his girlfriend, I don't think they were married yet, but he got his significant other pregnant, and they actually had 2 kids. Oh my gosh, I don't remember how many kids he's had. It's been a while. I read this in the fall, so it's been a while since I read it, but he has at least 2 kids, and one of them's a teenager, so he had kids really young, and then he and his wife just like did not work out, and now he's a single dad. He's a baker in a small town. He bakes for the inn next door, and the heroine actually has moved into town because her mother has passed away, and she ran the inn, and so she is there to basically run it until her sister graduates from college and can take over. And so she meets the guy next door who's also the local baker who's loved by the town, and they fall for each other, and it's so cute. So fall. They go to like a fall festival, and very small town, like meddling small town, and I loved it so much. And she definitely has to figure out like what she wants out of life. Is she really gonna move back to her like corporate job? Has she really enjoyed this kind of small town life? Kind of addressing also her relationship with her mother and her sister and her dad, and I love this one so much. Really love the kids in here. I do like it when they also have like teenage kids, because I feel like that's where you really get great personalities as well, because like they know what's going on versus like a 6 or 7-year-old, even like a toddler. They don't really know what's going on when it's like a romance their parent is having, but in this one they are very aware and they have to really be careful about how they address that with them. And so I love this one so much, and if you love small town romance, read this. Another small town romance I talk about all the time because I love this author, and this is my favorite by her. It's definitely the angstiest, and nothing has beat it since, and that is After the Storm by Laura Pavlov. This one is so good, so angsty. They were in love in high school, even going into college, but she wanted to leave and live this big life outside of their small town, and he didn't, and then they weren't being very good to each other, so they broke up. He got someone pregnant, and now he's a single dad living in their small town, and she has to come back home because her dad is sick, and so she comes back home and they are reconnected, and the angst in here, nothing like a second chance romance where one of them did have a child when they were separated and then coming back in, and she falls so head over heels for the daughter, and there are secret tattoos in here, which is one of my absolute favorite tropes as well. So I loved this, and she really loves the small town life even though she thought she really wanted something bigger than that, and I always love that when that happens in small town romances. Favorite by Laura Pavlov, like of all time, so good. I feel like single dad and small town go hand in hand because half of these are, I think all of these actually I have left are small town romances, so we're gonna get to it. So then we have Bourbon and Secrets by Victoria Wilder. This is a romantic suspense. The heroine is actually like a private investigator, but she is kind of like a burlesque dancer, and she comes back home to their small town where she left not on great terms and has to move in with her sister, who lives across the street from our hero, who is a single dad to, I believe, 2 girls, and the brothers in the series are amazing. They all own this like bourbon distillery farm thing, and we got the first book of the first brother, then we get his story. He wears glasses, and there's scenes in here, and I just love them so much. And the heroine has a really fun relationship with the daughters, and she is trying to investigate something, and there's a scene in here with the hero. He is so protective over her, which is my favorite. So if you like that, definitely like a darker spin on small town, but I love the bourbon setting too. Read the series, but this one's a small town single dad in the series, so good. Then I have one that you probably have heard of before, but Elsie Silver is also someone. This is like highlighter orange. I've never like really looked inside of this, but this is the PR edition they sent out. Wild Eyes is book 2 in her Rose Hill series, which is all single dad, but the first one he figures out he's a single dad when his daughter shows up on his doorstep, and book 3 it's like a baby. This one he actually has 2 kids, a daughter and a son, and he is divorced from his wife, and they have a really great relationship. But I love this hero so much. He runs a ranch, and the heroine is actually a musician, and she's not doing well well. She runs to Rose Hill to produce music with the hero, who's his best friend, who got book 1, and they end up sending her to live on the ranch because they're building up their studio and want to have like cabins, but they're not ready yet. So she has to live on the ranch, and the hero is just such a fun character, but he thrives on being around his kids and being around people. So he really doesn't do well when they're gone, and he's really sad when they're gone, and the heroine is now around him, and they develop this relationship that is so cute, and I love the kids so much. So good. I just love this series, and I really connected with her about like she's like wondering about like being in the public eye and like how people perceive her and like really her worth when it's so connected to popular opinion about her, and I love that discussion. This one's my favorite in the series, definitely, but it's all single dads, and the next one is gonna be so good. I'm so excited for book 4 in the series, but overall, this is definitely one of my favorites in the series, but I think all of them have been 5 stars so far. I love them. Then I have Temptation Trails by Claire Kingsley, which is another romantic suspense small town where the hero is actually the local sheriff. It starts out where his son stole cookies from the local bakery, and the heroine actually is the new owner of the bakery. And so the hero and heroine were actually set up on a blind date together, and the hero bails, and it's because he's covering a case. They found something in the woods connected to a missing person, and he's trying to figure out like what happened in this case, and he ends up showing up, realizing that's who they had set him on a date with, and he's like, I made a huge mistake. And so he wants a do-over with her, but there's also this mystery going around about this thing that they found in the woods and like what happened to this person that he is trying to investigate, and the hero's son actually has to work off the stuff he stole by working at the bakery. And I love his character as well because he kind of like really grows and forms a really great bond with the heroine because they have to work together, and he's not a bad kid, he's just a teenager, and he finds kind of like a purpose working in the bakery as well, and it was very cute. So really enjoyed this one. I really want to go back and read the other 2 in the series. I don't remember if this is book 2 or 3, but I do have an arc of the 4th book that I'm very excited to read, or the 3rd, whatever, the book that's coming out soon. Then I have Ashes of You by Catherine Cowles. This is book 5 in the Lost and Found series. This is the sheriff as well. We have small town romantic suspense with a serial killer, which is so good. The hero actually saved the heroine from a serial killer previous to the book starting, and the heroine has now moved to town and doesn't realize that the nannying position she applied for is for the guy who saved her. So it is our hero. He has 3 kids? 2 kids. I never remember the number of children in these books, but he has sons, and they are so hilarious. I love them so much, especially the one that's kind of like a Casanova with the ladies, and he's just like, I can pull anyone I want, and he's like 12, and he's so funny. And in this one, the heroine is definitely very damaged because she has survived a serial killer. She has a lot of anxiety, and she gets panic attacks, and she works for the hero, and there is someone coming around. Obviously, there's someone doing bad stuff. That's always happens in Catherine's books, and they have to figure out who's doing that. And it's a single dad nanny romance, so he falls for his kid's nanny, even though there's like a 12-year age gap between them. So good. Love this one. One of my favorites of the series. Another small town romantic suspense for you. And then the next one that's also romantic suspense that I feel like not a lot of people talk about is The Firefly Effect by K.K. Allen. In this one, the heroine actually lost her best friend when they were younger to the Firefly Man, which was this like kind of creepy, basically a serial killer, and so the town has really never recovered, and now the heroine is she's always been seeing a therapist, and he ends up leaving, and she's like, I need my therapist. And so the hero is the one that is taking over his practice while he's gone, and so she has to go and use her sessions with the hero, and he's a single dad that's now in town, and it is their romance, and they have to figure out kind of like who had murdered her best friend or taken her. I don't remember if they had found her body or not, but they're trying to like uncover what had happened then, because someone is now also killing people in the same manner around. So it is trying to figure out who this killer is, and she's falling for the new single dad in town. I really enjoy this one. And if you want another single dad nanny romance, we have There With You by Samantha Young. I think this one is the one where she's like a kind of wild child, and her sister got the previous book and married his brother or someone close to him, and so he is a widower. She needs a job in order to be able to stay in Scotland because she's actually running from a really not great past, and the things in her past have not helped her reputation, so she knows she's not like super trustworthy to people, but she is determined to really have a new life in Scotland and be close to her sister. And people do blame her because she wasn't there for her sister when her sister went through stuff in the previous book, but she does get the nanny position to watch his kids, and there's actually is suspense in here too, because I remember there's like like a kidnapping plot that had happened that you were just like, what the heck is happening? And I loved them so much. This is definitely my favorite in the series, and it takes place in Scotland, and he's definitely more of a broody hero. So good. Then I have Homebound by Meredith Trapp, and this one, our hero is a single dad to a baby. He's a hockey player, and they've been best friends for a long time, kind of dancing around like, will they be more or not? And then she gets engaged, and so he's like, well, what am I doing waiting around? So he leaves and has a baby, and now he's back, and he's back because he wants to be closer to his parents, and he ends up having to move in with her because she's living in the property on his parents' property. So that's where he wanted to stay. She's living there. She's actually a professional rodeo person, bull rider. They have to live together, and he does have his daughter as well, and so she has to like live in the same house as the daughter. Loves her as well because I believe she's like a baby in this one, if I remember, but it is so good because he is so determined to just get her this time. He's like, I'm not ruining my chance again. She's mine, and I love a hero on a mission to get the girl he wants. That is what happens in this one. I enjoyed it so much, so definitely check it out. And those are some single dad romances that you need to read. I love a good single dad romance, and I also love it when it's a nanny romance too. These are all just so good, whether they are age gaps or not. I feel like a lot of times a single dad romance ends up being an age gap, but as you notice, we have a lot of small town and small town romantic suspense that are so good. All of these will be linked down below. Let me know your favorite single dad romances, what I should read next, and if you've made it this far, leave me a cowboy hat for Homebound, and that is all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.